get right. Let's 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 get right. You already know what it is, man. It's your boy Dilla T. And this is No Filters. Always appreciate you hitting that like button for me. Subscribing to the channel so you don't miss an episode and sharing this with the world. And of course, family, when you come in, get comfortable. Get you something to eat. Get you something to drink. Get you something to smoke if that's what you do. Cause you see the title, fam. Let's get into this here.
Here's everything you need to know about the Charlie Kirk assassination in 8 minutes. Charlie Kirk was assassinated at UVU campus during the American Comeback Tour, doing one of the debates he's very well known for. The official narrative, which nobody believes, is that a lone gunman later discovered to be Tyler Robinson, a 22-year-old white man who's also gay and dating a furry who is transitioning, has a sporterized Mauser chambered in .30-06, smuggled in his pants when he arrives on campus. He then makes his way to his shooting position on the Losee Center building, where he takes the shot at Charlie Kirk from approximately 140 yards, but not before changing his clothes and assembling his rifle that he pulls out of his pants. Striking Charlie Kirk in the neck, only one shot was fired. The impact that we're all able to see looks unmistakably like an exit wound. However, we're told it's an entry wound, and we're told by the surgeon who worked on Charlie in the hospital that he is the man of steel because the bullet did not even pass through. Yeah, you heard that right. .30-06 hit him in the neck and did not go through. What? Now, we've all seen that clip way too many times, so I'm not going to show it again. However, here is a ballistic dummy being shot at the same exact angle and distance as the alleged shooter with a .30-06. As you can see, the bullet easily clears the neck and also leaves a hole in the 2x4 behind it with plenty of energy left to go. To further demonstrate the power of .30-06, the testers then shot the same dummy in the head, and as you can see, the results are absolutely catastrophic. Charlie Kirk wasn't shot with a .30-06. To further illustrate how ludicrous the official narrative was, Special Operator Valhalla VFT shot actual steel plates from 1/4 inch to 3/4 inch, even 1/2 inch steel plates with .30-06. None of them stood a chance, and neither did Charlie Kirk's spine. And there are a ton of theories of what actually happened to Charlie Kirk, but we must be very careful because these are designed to muddy the waters and create confusion and sow division amongst the community looking for the truth. But I know a lot of you out there may have seen or even fallen for some of these, so we're going to go through and talk about the most popular ones, finishing off with the most likely scenario, the easiest to believe, and what the actual video evidence shows us. First off, there is proof of multiple drones in the airspace during Charlie Kirk's assassination. Do I believe Charlie Kirk was shot by a drone? No. Simply put, it is not a simple or easy shot to take, and it is highly unlikely a drone actually shot him. Second is the palm gun. Brown shirt aviator guy seems to make a motion gesture with his hand that people are alleging is a palm gun. Simply put, the cavitation that we see in Charlie's neck is not possible with a slow-moving projectile like something coming out of this or any other handgun for that matter. While we're on the topic, let's talk air guns. While there are some air guns that have higher velocities, I still believe it's pretty unlikely he was shot with an air gun. While the slower velocity and larger projectile of the air gun may be a convenient explanation for what people are calling the projectile in these videos, it still lacks the energy on target to create the temporary wound cavity that we see occur in Charlie's neck. There is a theory that the camera behind Charlie Kirk shot him because one of the TPUSA members is seen very quickly after the shot, moving Charlie's chair, standing on it, and removing the camera and removing the SD card. However, it doesn't match the most likely angle of bullet travel. Also, Candace Owens has seen the footage via FaceTime, and I don't think the camera could record and also be a gun at the same time. Next, we have the conversation of hand signals, guys. If there were more people in on this, if his Israeli security squad did take him out, there's absolutely no need for them to do hand signals, guys. With an optic, the shooter would be able to see everything he needs to see. Also, they're speaking through microphones, so the shooter would be able to hear what is going on as well at the event. Now we have this guy in the blue shirt with a gun underneath his left armpit. This guy is part of Charlie's security detail, and he reacts as a professional would, taking a step back and assessing the situation. Next, you have the guy in the white shirt back here by the girl in the white shirt, and apparently you see recoil in his hands, and he's shooting some sort of credit card or phone style gun. The only problem is those guns are extremely inaccurate. He would be shooting blind without actually aligning his sights, and the recoil that is alleged actually happens multiple times before Charlie's actually hit. In both of these theories, the security detail or the white shirt guy, these shots are not easy to make, and if they were to miss, they would have struck somebody else in the crowd, eliminating the chance for makeup shots even if they were silenced. And once again, these calibers just lack the energy to create the temporary wound cavity we saw in Charlie's neck. Lastly, and this one's been making the rounds most recently, is that Charlie Kirk's microphone is what caused the explosion, either shooting a projectile or the explosion itself causing the exit wound we saw on Charlie's left side of his neck. However, what most people are calling smoke, this little half moon circle above the microphone, is actually just motion blur from his shirt. While this camera angle is one of the more clear ones that we have, the frame rate is still likely too slow to catch the shirt whipping up in that motion. And that leads us into the most likely scenario of how Charlie Kirk was shot. And that is, and I maintain, still from his back right, entering at the bottom of his hairline, striking his spinal column and brainstem before exiting out the front left side of his throat, piercing the skin, leaving a hole or a blood spot on the shirt, and then potentially being seen traveling through his knees. Please allow me to elaborate before we move on to the rest of the story. As you can see from these freeze frames shown, again, nothing graphic, you can see in this frame at the moment of impact, Charlie's neck experiences what we call the temporary wound cavity, where his neck and chest area grow in size by 8 to 12 inches from being impacted by a high velocity rifle round, most likely a 5.56. This extremely violent and fast expansion can be seen when slowed down to 10,000 frames per second on this ballistic gelatin test by ballistic high speed. You can see the gel balloon out as Charlie's neck and chest does. That violent expansion is what leads to the shirt puffing out in a 360-degree direction around Charlie's head and neck. That expansion is also what sends Charlie's necklace rocketing up towards the left side of his face. And since that cross has the most mass out of everything on that necklace, it lingers by his face longer than the rest of the chain, of which has snapped and the right side has escaped his collar, sending it back past his right ear and over his head, as can be seen from multiple different angles. And as you'll notice, the microphone has not gone anywhere, neither has a magnet which attaches it, which completely disproves the possibility of that being an explosive device, and falls to his left despite what people were telling you he falls straight back. At this point in time, this camera angle gives us some insight into the things that his security team were doing, which are very strange. He appears to be starting a recording on his Ray-Ban Meta glasses. There are some strange handoffs happening here, as well as the ground Charlie was carried across has no blood stains on it or drips. Charlie is then loaded in the SUV and rushed off to the hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. It is later revealed from his EMS communication that there was no autopsy performed and the death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital, and that his wife Erica was being flown in to sign the death certificate with the Vice President J.D. Vance. But let's take a step back to the crime scene. As we already discussed, people are all over it, contaminating it, moving things and taking things that should have been looked through with a fine-tooth comb. Not to mention that just a few hours later, the university had started construction on the exact area where Charlie was sitting, and a whole bunch of other stuff that is either extremely coincidental or proof that we live in a simulation. But please don't pay attention to any of that. Now back to the narrative. He is then caught on camera sprinting across the Losee Center rooftop as everybody is just beginning to duck. Meanwhile, a man who has tied the 9/11 and the Boston Marathon bombing stands up and starts saying, "I shot him, shoot me, shoot me." He is subsequently arrested and they conveniently find CP on his computer, so he will never talk. Then the FBI releases some CCTV footage of somebody running across the rooftop of the Losee Center, but you don't see them laying down or taking the shot or disassembling a rifle or changing their clothes or any of the other things that they allege. Also, there's some really weird stuff going on in this video where you can see that the shadow is there and then it disappears on the white part of the rooftop. What? Then they're also alleging that he is carrying the rifle. You could see some kind of sweater, but it does not appear to be a long gun. Also, pedestrians are just disappearing in the background. There's a lot of weird things going on with this video. Also, there's nobody seen panicking and running from the scene, which is just a few yards away. You can see him there crossing the road, and it was made to seem that he hid the rifle somewhere in some neighborhood that was not very close to the shooting scene, but as you can see, the rifle was just across the street. Why would he hide it so close to the scene of the shooting? Conveniently, the FBI has very high-resolution photos of them finding things like zip ties and a carabiner, but they don't have a high-resolution photo of the murder weapon itself. But in the photo, we notice immediately the scope is mounted improperly. There's no bipod. Anyways, moving on, don't ask too many questions. He then stops for a quick ice cream at DQ, because who doesn't like a quick blizzard after shooting somebody in the neck? Here's the distance that is from the university. Again, makes total sense. In later discovered text messages, he's allegedly texting his gay lover and roommate during this time, and the messages read like a love letter from the Titanic while simultaneously listing out in gruesome detail every single aspect of the murder, implicating himself multiple times and admitting to the murder multiple times in writing, creating a digital footprint that can then be used in court conveniently, at which point the FBI had put out photos of the alleged shooter and his parents recognized it to be their son. They asked for photos of the rifle. He would not provide. They asked him to come home, at which point a family friend who was a retired sheriff's deputy convinced Robinson to turn himself in, and now he is seen at his first hearing wearing a suicide smock, and officials are calling him suicidal. What? Although we may never know what actually happened to Charlie Kirk, one thing is very clear. Both political parties are going to use this to push their radical agendas and pin us against each other, left versus right. For it is when we are divided that we fall, and when we are united that we stand. We all must remember it is not left versus right, it is top versus bottom. Please let me know down in the comments what else did I miss. And as always, Christ is King. Stay safe, stay dangerous. Range Day Bro, out.
We're America's beverage companies, making American products with American workers in America's hometowns, creating good-paying jobs, the kind that require only a strong work ethic, because we believe in the promise of America and the people who make it great.
When I started using this Navy SEAL muscle device, my friends laughed at me, but when only 30 days later my beer gut had almost disappeared,
So do you see this? So this is the latest theory. So now because the FBI and the government and the media are lying about the Charlie Kirk assassination, it lends itself to many different theories. There was a theory the guy had a palm gun. There's a theory that his microphone was rigged somehow to explode. There was a theory that a guy with a cell phone gun. There's lots of different theories. Here's the latest theory. Now I'm not, I saw some people report that Jimmy Dore is pushing this theory. I'm reporting these theories. I'm not saying anyone is true. I'm saying that some of them are compelling. Every theory I've heard by the way, is compelling. They're compelling. So I'm not saying they're true. I'm saying that we should have a real investigation and not break down the crime scene immediately afterwards. Maybe they should have secured the crime scene, which they didn't. And so you see this, it looks like a camera, but it's a gun. You see that?
Oh, that's the one they got that mobster with back in the day.
So
the Italian-American club guy, he got shot with a fake camera gun by a black guy. Remember that?
No, I don't remember that, but this is what it looks like. And so they're saying that a guy who was behind Charlie Kirk.
There he is. Oh, you can see, is that Charlie right in the foreground?
I'll show you. So this is Charlie, and I'm going to show you the guy. So watch what they're saying here. So definitely, it's because of the way his head goes. Everybody's saying the bullet had to come from this way. It had to have. That's what people are saying. I don't know. I'm not a ballistics expert, but he did go this way. He didn't go this way. He didn't go that way. He didn't go forward. He went that way. He went to the left. So you would think he got shot from this side. That's what you would think. So let's see. I still haven't seen the video from the camera. There's supposed to be a camera behind him. Why can't we see that video? But here, so watch this. Watch this close. So there's a guy holding one of these. That's what this video was claiming. There's a guy holding one of these. And you see the bullet come out. So that's what that was. You saw the bullet come out. And they're saying, this is the guy right here. So he gives the hand signal. This guy comes out from behind. Watch this. So there's the guy. So they're saying that guy took the shot, and then he immediately walks backwards. Watch this.
He walks away like nothing's on.
So there he is. These two guys working together. He just walks away like nothing. He wasn't like freaked out. He walks away like he just did something. Again, I'm not saying this is how it happened. I'm saying this is compelling and that people should look into all these theories. So there's the shot, and here's the guy. Does the guy look, does he look freaked out? Does he look weirded out? Does he look like he just witnessed an assassination? No, he looks like he's calmly walking backwards. Let's watch it again. So you see the bullet. So you see that little flash? That's the bullet. And here's the guy right here. They say he's got one of these guns. And it certainly looks like he might. Why would he keep the camera like that? Why would he keep it like that and walk backwards?
To get the shot?
Why would he walk backward? Why would he keep it? He did, like you would. That's not how I wouldn't imagine that's how a person would react if they just watched the shooting 5 feet in front of them. They would keep their camera at waist high and walk backwards like this, like it's a gun, because that's how he's holding it, like it's a gun. So hang on. There's the guy. So the shot went off. You saw that guy flinch, but he doesn't flinch at all. He doesn't flinch at all. Isn't that weird? He doesn't flinch at all. This guy flinched. And then he walks backwards.
And he turns and he walks away from a crime scene. He's not running.
Why wouldn't he continue to take pictures of a crime scene?
Oh, he wasn't still taking pictures. I didn't see that part.
Why wouldn't he still take pictures? Why would he walk? He walks backwards. He doesn't turn around and run and get the hell out of there. He walks back really suspicious like.
Yeah. Well, they all look suspicious. The palm gun supposed guy looks suspicious. The other guy with the phone looks suspicious.
So there's the bullet, by the way. So do you see this little spot right here? So they're saying that's the bullet.
Can you increase it, Jimmy? Can you increase the slide so everybody can see it a little bit more? Is that possible?
Let me see.
And move it over a little. That might help people see it.
So you see this little white spot right here?
Yeah.
They're saying that's the bullet. And it comes and hits him that way. And it's that guy with that gun camera that's doing this. Let's watch. Well, there's the bullet.
That fruit smoothie has us crashing. Charlie, though.
Hit that like button, subscribe, fam. We cooking in here. You know what's going on. Ruth in the building. I see you.
Chicken and greens. We got this.
Turns out, caffeine can be tasty. With 17 flavors to choose from.
That's crazy work. They talking about a cameraman had a gun in the camera, fam. This is crazy. Make it make sense, man.
All those interview curveballs.
The woke are literally melting down over this free Trump coin.
Here we go,
Starting
family.
This month, the 17th.
He really all of a sudden drops his arm and walks away casually. He's not running. He's not afraid.
I wish they had put this stupid music behind it too and just left it so
Yeah.
you could see it without the...
Right, without the stupid music.
Every single one we watched, it was the exact same. Oh, it looks like he's walking away and he's not shocked. Every single one looks the same. Is this like when they do a firing squad and somebody has a bullet that doesn't work and they don't know?
Right?
Like that?
Is it that? So let's.
They're conscious that, look, you were meant to see this public execution. You were meant to see
Oh,
it.
definitely. Oh,
So
this
there's
was.
no way they didn't plan ahead to have at least 3 or 4 valid possibilities to your eye.
That's right.
Who might have done it? And my question is, I know it ain't the story they told me because I don't believe he had a miracle neck. That's the official science.
Yeah.
So,
And
this
Candace
was
Owens.
planned for you to see this, and every new possibility go, oh, maybe it was this one, but it's always a hall of mirrors. You never get the right answer. Why is it like that? And why can't we see the autopsy? And why can't we this and that? You know?
Yeah, yes. Why can't
That's
we?
the really thing to focus on, because this is compelling as like the other two that I told
Yes.
you compelling.
Yes. And so this was a professional hit. There's no doubt about that. And the proof of that is that guy Zinn was the decoy. He starts screaming, "I did it." He drops his pants. Did you know that he dropped his pants? Did you hear that?
Yes, he also told the police he had child pornography, so that he couldn't be
In question.
or something. On
Yeah.
purpose, he did that.
Yeah.
And then there's recordings of him saying how he gets deployed to stuff all the time.
Yes. So that guy who looked like a Bernie Sanders if he owned a liquor store was screaming, "I shot him," and he drops his pants. He was the distraction, and then he gets arrested because there's a CP child porn on his phone, and of course we know what happens. And he's Jewish, so we know what happens to people aligned with Israel who get charged with child porn. As soon as they get out on bail, they go to Israel and they're never touched again.
I think they have to give you a free trip to Israel if you're caught with it and you.
Yeah.
Well, he said he did. I don't know that he did, but very oddly, he said to the cops, "Oh, I should tell you there's CP in my phone."
Yeah.
That's a very strange thing. Every part of that's so strange.
So just for the editors, I need you to blur out Charlie Kirk's face and head on this. Otherwise, we'll demonetize it. So
No, that doesn't make it suspicious either, does it?
yeah. Turn down the stupid music. So there's yeah, you tell me that's not suspicious. So it is. So again, here's another theory, and it just like Kurt said, I bet they want us to have all these different theories. So it looks like nobody knows what they're talking about. Everybody's got crazy theories. But But all
Trust the science.
what's that?
Just trust the science and stop with your crazy
Trust the-
malinformation.
Trust the science.
Yeah, it was a miracle. Trust the science that told you his neck is a miracle that can stop 30-06 boar hunting ammunition.
Yeah, there's no way the official story is true. There's no way that a bone in his neck stopped a 30-06 round. There's no way that happened. No way. Just Google, go on YouTube, go on Rumble, go anywhere and look up 30-06 and what it does to stuff. That's not what happened. And they're not going to read. Where's the coroner? Who's the guy who did the autopsy? How come he's not at a press conference? So the more people you're not allowed to ask questions about, that just like with Seth Rich, you weren't allowed to ask a question about it, and then it comes out, you were called a conspiracy theorist, a crazy, which is what they called me in the Washington Post. And then it comes, of course, 6 years later, the court orders the FBI to release his computer, and the FBI says, we're not going to release his computer for 65 years. Oh, really? Seth Rich's computer. So again, this whole thing about if you're not allowed to ask questions, there's some fuckery happening. Just, you weren't allowed to ask about 9/11 and Building 7. You're not allowed to ask about COVID or the virus. You're not allowed to ask about anything. So now you're not allowed to ask, why can't I ask, where's the coroner? How come we're not allowed to ask him questions? Where's those security guys? Where's that guy with that camera? Where's all these guys?
They haven't even buried him yet, Jimmy.
Running Roy in the building. Salute.
Yeah.
That's a moronic thing.
Strength and honor.
Oh my God.
You gotta be a Zionist
Yeah.
moron.
So there it is. So
I
just,
think that would work as an excuse.
yeah. All right. And if you want to hear my jokes about this, come see me in Hermosa Beach, Sacramento, San Francisco, Australia, and Burbank, California, the day after Thanksgiving. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets. The first comment is, it's possible if a group did this, they set up multiple people who look like they could have shot Kirk, just like they had those people acting like the shooting. That way, we'd be endlessly speculating about it and never quite figuring it out.
Yeah, mafia and rap murders happen the same way. It's an old tactic that works.
Yeah. Come see me on tour in Hermosa Beach, Sacramento, San Francisco, Irvine, California, Australia, and Burbank, California. Go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.
Hit that like button, subscribe, fam. We cooking in here. You seeing what's going on. Don't act like you don't know what's going on.
This Navy SEAL muscle,
you see what's happening. You see what's going on. They got more and more coming out. And at this point, you got to be stupid not to have retract your steps and thought like, okay, well, the man got shot, but where the blood at? Ain't no blood. Then you're talking about cameras with guns on them, but then you see this one show that we was watching, Blind Spot, where the guy actually put the gun in the camera and he used the camera to shoot. You know what I'm saying? That's some stuff that was on TV. So it's different because I've always told people, you see something on TV, then you need to know that's reality, because in reality, they're making that for TV. Let me say it again. You see something on TV, you need to know that's in reality, because in reality, they are making that for TV. So there's no way that it don't work hand in hand. You understand here? So the biggest thing about what we're discussing is they have put so many distractions into place, distractions in the way, distractions just to talk about every day, that the main thing has already been done. Okay? The main thing of the main thing has already been done. That's already been done. People have already been exposed. Charlie has been exposed. His wife has been exposed. Trump has been exposed. So think about it now. Are you really fighting for the truth? Or are you fighting just to not be embarrassed because you believe the lie? Let me say that again for the people in the back. Are you really fighting for the truth? Or are you fighting because you're embarrassed because you believe the lie? We need to be clear on what we're doing, why we mad, or why we got all this energy, or why we tuning in. See, you can't tune in to somebody's channel and have all that mouth to talk. You can't tune in to someone's channel and have all of that to talk. All the negativity, all the disrespect. You can't come in someone's house and be disrespectful when you knew nothing in the first place. So again, I ask, are you fighting for the truth, or are you fighting because you were embarrassed for believing the lie? Because we all, at some point, believe the lie. But when we start breaking it down and seeing what's really real, we start to see that that's just a straight lie in our face. And yet they have put so many distractions in play that you will never get to the actual real situation because of so many distractions. The guy on the roof, the guys doing hand signals, the guy being rocked back that was bald head guy. Now they talking about the camera guy. Then they talking about the people right in front of the guy. I mean, come on, fam. You don't get it at this point that they want you to be talking about so many different angles that you just become tired from not having an answer. Let me say that again for the people in the back. They want you to become so tired of not having an answer that you just become careless. Because at this point, there has been almost 10 scenarios about this Charlie Kirk. Almost 10, if not 10. So you should know that there's bamboozle going on, hoodwink going on, janky to the fullest going on. But the fact that that man wasn't bleeding and the autopsy is back, hit that like button, subscribe, become a member today. We cooking, fam.
Device, my friends laughed at me, but when only 30 days later my beer gut had almost disappeared, they shut up.
This new Special Forces device turns men into beasts. It burns calories.
So there's the shot, and here's the guy. Does the guy look, does he look freaked out? Does he look weirded out? Does he look like he just witnessed an assassination? No, he looks like he's calmly walking backwards. Let's watch it again. So you see the bullet. So you see that little flash? That's the bullet. And here's the guy right here. They say he's got one of these guns. And it certainly looks like he might. Why would he keep the
FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, just dropped something big.
Hit that like button, subscribe, become a member. We cooking.
Easiest way.
So there's the shot.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and in a wild turn of events, as if this Charlie Kirk situation needed any more of those, we now have a couple different influencers who have come out and confirmed that Charlie Kirk did, in fact, have an autopsy, which is what we really would expect. However, they are claiming they actually know exactly what is said in that medical examiner's report, and we're going to take a look at what this report actually says. And I got to tell you guys, I don't know how to put this nicely. If this medical examiner report or autopsy report is true, the FBI and the prosecution are, let me put it lightly, I guess, because essentially the idea that Tyler Robinson took the shot from where he took it at the angle he took it and caused the damage it did to Charlie with the round that's used is actually not possible. So this is going to be a very interesting video. Let's jump in. Let's talk about it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Helps the channel. All right, let's do this, guys. All right, first thing I got to say up front, like always, is we are operating under massive assumptions here that this information is true, it is correct, because I'll tell you when it comes to an autopsy report, A, it's private, 2, it's evidence for a massive murder trial, and the idea that law enforcement are just handing this out to influencers, not a case, so this is hearsay through hearsay, okay, at the end of the day. Somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, all right? So take all this with a massive grain of salt. I'm not saying these people are liars. I'm just saying that's what we're operating under. All right, first thing we're going to take a look at is what this report says.
Allegedly, from speaking with a couple of people high up at Turning Point USA, they let me know that the injury took place right below the jaw in the C2. The bullet crashed through C2 all the way through C7. And then they found the bullet lodged in that meaty area around T1, the thoracic first vertebrae.
All right, so I don't know Stephen Gardner. I don't really watch his stuff. I'm going to assume he's operating in good faith here and that he actually heard what he heard. And, you know, somebody else also came out and said that they've seen or supposedly heard about this same autopsy report.
I confirmed, obviously, because I have connections, and I confirmed that the autopsy was done. I don't want to say too much, but the autopsy yielded where the entry wound was and how the bullet killed him. It's already been determined. They found the bullet lodged in his body. They can tell you exactly where, what was severed, what killed him, where the bullet traveled from his neck down through his body. They have it all, fragmentation of the round that spouted through his body. They have all of that.
Okay, they have it all. They've got it proved. Let's see if this even works mathematically or scientifically. Let's jump into it. All right, guys, so basically a middle school math problem. This isn't that hard to figure out. We know that, according to the medical examiner report, this 30-06 round came in, hit him in the C2, traveled down. All right, you guys are going to notice some huge problems with this right away, but let's go ahead and, you know, just look at this objectively.
In the building.
All right,
It's
we're
a
going to
duck.
protractor out. Let's put that right here on the C2. Okay, we do know, again, from where Tyler Robinson was shooting, it was a 9-degree slope with a 9-degree offset, essentially meaning almost directly on at a 9-degree slope, which we can travel out from our protractor from the C2 here at 9 degrees. Perfect. All right, as we pull the protractor off, what's the first huge glaring issue you guys are going to see here? Oh, well, if Charlie Kirk was sitting level, sort of parallel to the ground with his jaw, which he was, let me show you that real quick. All right, so we can see Charlie Kirk is not got his head all the way back like this. He's sitting pretty much flat, looking at the crowd, sort of jaw parallel to the ground as he gets hit. Boom, hit. So you can see that, right? It's actually a little bit of a tilt down even, okay? So let's look at this anatomically. All right, this is essentially exactly how Charlie Kirk is sitting. And they want to tell you the medical examiner report confirms he was first hit in the C2 vertebrae right below the base of the skull. Biggest problem I see with that, from the angle Tyler Robinson shoots him from, is that would have hit him in the teeth or even above the teeth. There is no possible way that this round came from a 9-degree angle and a 9-degree slope and hit the C2 while not blowing through Charlie Kirk's face. It's not a thing. We also can see the C2 is not where that gunshot wound is. I can show you that right here. All right, as you can see here, yeah, he's got some tilt back now after he's been hit, but that round, sorry for my beard, that round is 2-3 inches below his chin. Okay? This round is not all the way up, just underneath the base of the jaw. It's pretty far down. I would say that's closer to the C4 or the C5 to where that round, to me, looks like he got hit. So big problems right away with this medical examiner report, but let's keep looking at it. All right, so we know this is not possible. Okay, this definitely didn't happen. But if we look at the actual sort of injury to Kirk, looks like he's shot closer to about right here, okay, on that left side of the neck. Now, if we look at it this way, now we can make this work for the location of the shot if it inches and hits the C5, but that's not what they're saying. They're saying it hit the C2, traveled down all his vertebrae. It doesn't work. Next thing with this, we're talking about a 30-06 round. Right now you have this 30-06 round traveling at 24 to 2,700 feet per second, or even less, doesn't even matter. Hits him, let's say, hits him in the C2, and this magic bullet that doesn't go through his face somehow. That then refracts straight down into the T1. Yeah, that's not what a 30-06 round is going to do if it hits a human neck vertebrae. We know it's going to blow it right through. But even if there was some weird refraction, bullets aren't going to refract almost 90 degrees. We've talked about that. And then keep their actual velocity to be able to do that much damage. Not really a thing. Again, so with just basic middle school math, we already disproved this whole medical examiner's report, or the fact that the shot was taken from where it was taken, you know, a 90-degree slope from straight on. Charlie Kirk sitting flat, parallel chin to the ground. Not possible. It would have hit him in the teeth. Not 5 inches lower than the teeth. It's not a thing. So because we know that's not possible, if we're assuming the medical examiner report is true and accurate, now we have to look at alternatives to how this could have taken place. Okay, so let's talk about a few. All right, so I've seen a bunch of different people talking about now, because of this report, this has to prove that Charlie Kirk had body armor, because again, it's an impossible shot. It's an impossible angle. It didn't hit him in the face, which, okay, that's kind of interesting. But let's talk about that, all right? Now we're talking about body armor, which again is going to be down here on the chest. Again, 9-degree slope. This is still where the shot came from. Here's the entrance room. Okay, let's talk about the
Hey, I appreciate each and every one of y'all being here, but let's make sure we understand what's going on. You in here with your boy Dilla T and my family. This is No Filters. Watch your damn mouth. You a guest. Unless you hit that like button and subscribe to become a member, you a guest. Watch your mouth. You act like you... What? As quick as you came in, you can be gone. Watch your mouth. Don't ever think you can talk to me like that in my house, dog. What's wrong with you, stupid? If I allow you to, that's what's happening right now. But watch your mouth when you're in my house with my people.
Possibility that the bullet refracted off his body armor. First, let's also make sure that we acknowledge it's been disproven he had body armor on, and not only that, TP USA has publicly stated he had no body armor on. So if you're going to operate under the assumption he has body armor on, you are calling TP USA nefarious liars. I'm not prepared to do that, because why would they purposefully lie about him having body armor on? That seems bizarre to me. But hypothetically, TP USA is lying about this and he had body armor on. Let's look at it. Now, we're still talking about a 30-06 round, okay? A 30-06 round that supposedly comes down, hits him in the body armor, which, by the way, if he had body armor on so small that you couldn't see it through that tiny little shirt, it wouldn't be strong enough to stop a 30-06 round to begin with, but we're in hypothetics here. That then, okay, this almost makes me laugh doing this. That then refracts off.
The new monster menu is now at Burger King. Try it today.
Nearly home. Who done it?
We're looking for a house closer to everything, but we don't know where to start.
Find it with Realtor.com. With Commute, it's easy to find a home closer to what's ever close to your heart. Do y'all recycle? Realtor.com.
This has been our most requested product. We're finally launching Lash Sculpt in brown.
Hit that like button, subscribe, become a member today. Don't forget what's going on. Act like you know. Get the donation and the cash app. You see it pinned at the top? Let's act like we know what's going on here.
We're proud to announce the launch of Westminster Online. It's designed to be flexible and to meet your needs.
Off the body armor, comes all the way up here at a 90-degree angle to hit this C2, and then re-refracts straight back down to the T1. Guys, bullets are not pinballs.
That's real
They
rude.
don't do this, okay? They refract and do weird things as they move through, but changing total direction in almost 180 degrees
Appreciate it,
is
Eric.
not possible. So this Newtonian physics says that's not a thing, okay? So again, I mean, even Rob O'Neill talks about body armor here, and it's actually what he talks about here is interesting because it actually is going to bring us into the next possibility.
Demi Hill in
But
the
that was not
building.
an injury wound that we saw. We saw an exit wound. So where'd that bullet come from? You don't bleed like, and I've shot guys closer than the camera was. And an entry wound doesn't look like that. An exit wound does. Why did his shirt move the way it did? When I've shot people, their shirts didn't move like that. And then the initial reaction was, well, he was obviously wearing body armor and it was deflection. One, no. He wasn't wearing body armor. And two, it doesn't deflect like that off of body armor. Why was his shirt moving from right to left? Why were people being interviewed saying they came from my left to right, from his right to left, immediately shut down?
Okay, so interesting. Yeah, the idea that we'll talk about rounds too, because people say, well, it depends on the round, the 30-06 round. The idea that body armor, that blasts off body armor, goes straight up, hits his neck, comes straight back down. It's not a thing. It's not physically possible, regardless of what anybody wants to tell you. Okay, based off of based off of the medical examiner reports injury, is it possible that a round refracts off body armor at an angle and comes up into his neck? Sure, but not at that extreme angle.
Shout out to Jimmy here with a $5 donation in the super chat. I appreciate your love and support, family. Make sure you become a member, my G.
Video, got to give a shout out to today's sponsor, our partners at Barbell Apparel, who make the world's best and most comfortable pair of jeans. And not only that, right now,
Shout out to Ruth, my family, my people. You know who you is in Boston. You know your family forever.
Just sell jeans and hoodies. They also got fitness clothes, tactical clothes, some of the best gym gear out
when
there.
Larry Scene's in the building.
I say this is the best, most comfortable pair of jeans you're ever going to buy. Head on over, links in the pinned comment and description. Pick yourself up some and get yourself a free hoodie. All right, let's get back to the video. So let's look at some things that make the medical examiner's supposed report work. Now, it also makes the narrative not work.
We love you too, Roof. Is all family, is all love.
Again, we know he supposedly gets hit in the C2 first by the medical examiner's report. Well, let's look at that. We know where the actual wound is, which is here. Okay, well, we know it can't have come from that slope. Again, it goes straight through his teeth.
So let's get right. That's what I'm saying. Hit that like button, subscribe, become a member right now. We cooking. What you're looking at right now is fam breaking down the autopsy of when this man got hit and where the bullet traveled to. Why we didn't see no blood. And the fact that K. Marie Hart just pulled up. What's up, family? You know what it is. Hit that like button, subscribe, because you should be a member. Point we making is, if you ain't never seen an autopsy, here it is right here. They breaking it down. C7, C1, C2, C8, them all bones. They labeled C something or T something. Understand? Follow him. Follow me. Understand what's going on here. This is an autopsy of Charlie Kirk. Yeah. And we trying to break it down. Where the bullet went, where it came in, and how it fractured. Man never got shot with a 30-06. I know what the 30-06 is. That thing will break your face open. It'll bust your neck open, and whatever it hit, it's going to bust open. You understand? Did not happen. Hit that like button, subscribe, become a member, understand what's going on. You see the chat, you see the donations, you see the super chat, you see the cash app, you see what's going on. Bam! Right here behind me right now. You got a chance to win a shirt in the $2 raffle giveaway of No Filters. You heard me? $2. It's only $2. You still got a chance to win your shirts. Mona was the first female. Tone was the first male. They shirts in the mail. They should be pulling up this weekend with them shirts, y'all. So understand what I'm telling you right now. $2. Yeah. Yeah. You can win a shirt, fam. And it's going to be signed by your boy Dilla T personally. You understand? So I'm telling you right now, you better get in that $2 raffle. You better hop in there right now. Put as much as you can in there, because you're going to get you a shirt. You're going to win whatever color you want, the way you want it. Even if you want a name on the back. You understand me? Get real, get right. All sponsored by Savvy for Well. And act like we know what's going on. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe. We become a member because we cooking.
Unless his head was like literally all the way back. So what would it take for this round to have hit him where it hit him as an entrance wound and hit him in the C2 first?
Nene Love Savvy TV in the building.
C2. We can come down with our angle here, and we can see that it actually would take a 38-degree
Cassie Kirk, become a member right now. Cassie Kirk, become a member right now. Hit that like button, subscribe.
Hit him where it hit him, and then also hit the C2 first if he was shot from the front. Does that
Pamela, new sub, new member, become a member today.
Seemed weird.
I appreciate your family.
And then also keep in mind the round still has to travel then straight back down, which bullets don't do. They don't do this, okay?
Shout out to Demi here with a $3 donation in the super chat, coming in real, letting them know how his presence is being felt in here. We're going to bring it back for Nene Love Savvy TV in the building, letting them know what we starting off with and when we coming on and what they talking about. They talking about Charlie Kirk. They talking about it went in through her, but it came out through there. And now they talking about the man wasn't even bleeding. And now they talking about the autopsy says he wasn't even shot with what they said he was shot with. You understand? That's what's going on. Hit that like button, subscribe, become a member today. You have a chance to become a member. Double tap the screen. It ain't hard. Just double tap the screen. That's it. You get so caught up in the content that you forget to double tap the screen and hit that notification bell. Everybody right now, notification bell, turn it on all right now. I'll wait. Go to that notification bell right now, turn it on all. Right now. Turn it on. Right now. Shout out to Demi here with the donations in the super chat. You see it. Shout out to fam with the donations in the cash app. You see it. You get your shirt. You see it. Any color. You see it. And you get signed by your boy Dilla T. You see it. Sponsored by none other than Savvy for Well. Understand what's going on. Hit that like button, subscribe, become a member. You see it? Let's go.
Hey guys, you would expect a bullet to refract out this way, refract up this way. It's not going to reverse this massive direction back the other way, okay? So I'll make it very clear. If he was shot from the front, in the location he was shot, and it hit him in the C2 first, it had to have come from an upward angle. It could not have come from a 9-degree downward slope. It's not anatomically possible. But this makes other theories actually possible.
Jimmy Hill in the rap.
The really popular theory that Rob O'Neill just talked about, Range Day Bros talked about, a lot of people have talked about, which I have not discounted at all, have talked about him being shot from up and behind him. This is very interesting because this actually, besides one little piece, which is that they found around inside of him, this actually potentially makes the medical examiner report work with the injury and ballistics that all potentially work. Let's take a look at that. The C2 is going to be just behind the jaw there, as we've seen it, right? Now, if he gets shot from the back upper right, and again, we don't know that angle would be because this is all hypothetical, right? We don't know where that shooter was, but anywhere you would think around the way the buildings were, they're all about that height, anywhere from like a 10 to maybe 15-degree angle here. Now, all of a sudden, if he's getting shot in the back right of the head, that comes.
Hold up, Poppy pad. You said that like you said that in here like that's just regular. Like ain't nobody just gonna see that and just gonna say nothing. Like you ain't just fam or something. Nah, fam, you don't get to just say that in there and just don't say nothing. No, you don't get to say that, Poppy. And we just gonna like it just ain't nothing. Lord, we thank you for Poppy. And for whatever his situation is, Lord, you know it, we don't. But you owe all things. And God, we just ask you for direction. We asking you to give direction to this man, this woman, Poppy. The doctors will give direction and discernment on what needs to be done moving forward in that person's situation. We thank you for it now, Lord. And we touch it in agreement, 2 or 3 gather in his name. He'll come in the midst. So it matters right now that we acknowledge Poppy's situation, Lord, and give it to you. Because that's what's going on right now. We truly thank you for what you're doing and what you're doing and what you've did. In Jesus' name. You hear me? We don't do that here, Poppy. Something going on with our family. We finna do it right now. We finna address it right now. I truly hope that you receive that by faith, family. That we all in agreement that Poppy's past situation come out on top. And we thank you for it, Lord. That's real. Let's keep going. You know we here, Poppy. Hit that like button, subscribe, become a member. You better hit that notification bell. We care about ours over here.
Beneath the skull, anatomically, this actually works. It comes in, the back underneath his skull, hits him in the C2, and then blows out at a normal refraction angle, exactly where we expect to see the exit wound in this case. That actually works perfectly, ballistically, anatomically, to have created that initial impact into the C2. It probably blows down here through the C4, does some damage through C5, C6, through C7 through cavitation. The biggest issue here is this is an exit wound, which means there would be no bullet found inside Charlie's body. That goes against the medical examiner's report. All right, and then there's one final potential here, and that was actually brought forward by Peak Prosperity. This is a fantastic video if you haven't seen it either. And he actually had the theory that the shot came from technically the front, but from a much more drastic angle, almost like a 45-degree angle. So we can look at that here too. All right, now, so this theory states that it must have come from a far more horizontal angle, right? It's because the front angle doesn't work at all, which I agree with, to come maybe up underneath the jaw. Even then, it's going to be tough where this comes to get to the C2. I don't think you do. I still think you get in the C4, but to cause the actual damage at a much more steep angle, now all of a sudden, the refraction, as this comes in and comes through here, the refraction comes down and potentially works that way. That's actually a bullet refraction that makes sense. All right, but then the biggest problem we have with this is then this probably doesn't hit him in the C2 either. So where are we left? What's the problem? Well, the problem is that the official narrative with Tyler Robinson, where he took the shot from.
You know what it is. 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 My fam gonna come through. They gonna put it in there like it's supposed to be right now. Like Ruth said, where everybody at? I want to know where you're from right now. I want to know where you're at right now. What city you in right now? Witnessing and looking at your boy Dilla T and my family here at No Filters. I want to know where you're at. I want to know where you're born in. I want to know what you're doing right now in the city you doing it in right now. Tell me now. Because you know I'm going to let my family know we all around the world. No Filters big out here, man. We been deep. We been popping. We been there. But the biggest thing is that we all are together. And we keep going with what's going on. Nerdy Locks all the way in Atlanta in the building. Ruth says, okay, ATL in the building. That's real. Lori all the way in Tennessee. Don't get it twisted, my people. Tennessee. All the way around the corner in the building. I say the real bucket is Nashville, Tennessee in the building. You already know Ruth coming in strong with my Boston Celtics out there with my dog Jason Tatum, my family. You know it is popping. Marietta Dancy coming out of Mississippi. Mona Thompson. Mona know she fam all the way in Memphis. Ben fam is really real. Demi Hill says, OG. I think somebody on stage hit him with a sinister. And a rifle. That's real, family. Washington State in the building. Nikki Love, Washington State. Bucky Buck, New York in the building. New York in the building. Bucky Buck don't play no game. Keith Williams, what's up, partner? New Orleans. Keaton in the building. What New Orleans don't play with him. Robin says he from the sea. Yeah, he might be under that sea. You understand? Let's hit that like button. Let me know where you're from, how you coming, how you going, how you living. Let's go, fam. We cooking.
Is not possible and does not match the medical examiner's report anatomically or mathematically. It's just, it doesn't work. So you have to then either say the medical examiner's report can't be right or Tyler Robinson isn't the shooter. These things cannot be true at the same time as far as we're sort of understanding it with science and math and physics. So what's the real story? Don't know. We don't know, guys. There's some very compelling things with a lot of different theories. But again, if I'll just say this, wrap the video up. If the prosecution thinks it is going to, unless they have some crazy evidence we don't have, but let's say this medical examiner's report is true and they're going to go with the official narrative. They walk into that courtroom against the Menendez brothers legal team, one of the best legal teams they could put together, and you walk in there.
Nerdy Locks crazy.
Can disprove through basic math and a protractor. Good luck. Good luck finding this kid guilty. So,
Lori.
Again, no idea if this medical examiner report's actually true or not. But if it is, oh my God, this just made things infinitely worse for the FBI. So that's going to do it for this one. Hope you guys found that interesting, and I will catch y'all in the next video.
You'll never pay for Netflix again after seeing this.
Netflix and Apple pray you never find out about this. This tiny device lets you stream movies from any premium platform or paid chat.
All right, in a continued effort to try to get as much information out there as possible, if you hear snoring, Dakota is laying on the floor at my feet snoring. He sounds like he's farting, but it's really snoring. I want to continue to turn over as many stones as we can in this Charlie Kirk investigation because it is an ongoing investigation that it doesn't look like the FBI is interested in continuing to pursue because as you saw from my video, hopefully,
thank you so much.
I don't know if you've seen it, on my High Impact Vlogs channel, I showed you what the FBI director, Kash Patel, said. They are convinced that they've got the guy, Tyler Robinson, and none
really
of the official story makes any sense. So this is Nick from Valhalla VFT YouTube channel.
Want to know where your boy from?
Alex Jones show, and he does say a couple interesting things. The first thing is, where is all the blood on the hands of the guys who helped?
Ruth want to point it out. She said, "Wait, where he from?"
Charlie Kirk immediately after the bullet.
Francie in the building, where you been? Tap in with family. You know what we doing. Let them know, Mona.
This drives me the most
Mona
crazy.
know how I'm coming.
Watch this, guys. We're talking about a gunshot wound to the carotid artery. All of these guys.
And look at this guy in brown right here with the striped shirt.
Big old.
I mean, he's smiling. He's
Jamaica.
president.
And I want you to watch it. Okay, we're handing things off, but as we're handing things off, no blood. No one has any blood on their hands. Who? So here's what I'm saying, Alex. I'm not trying to point fingers or conspiracies, but I want to know, why did nobody try to save his life? No one there is stopping the bleeding. Not one person put their fingers in Charlie Kirk's neck or their hands. This is
Well, when you first came on 2 weeks ago, that's when all my security guys are all former operations.
Bend down there.
The way they run around like they have something planned, but it's nothing they've ever seen. They don't know the hand signs. They're picking things up. And they said that what they see is premeditation, but they don't know what it is. And now this no blood thing, and the looks on their faces like they're taking a Sunday walk. This is weird.
So, again, I want to make it clear. Most of the viewers out there have not treated a human being that's been shot, okay? Those of us that have know blood is everywhere, Alex. It is, I don't want to say the F word, everywhere.
Bend down. Yeah.
It's fucking everywhere. It would have been over everybody's hands. It would have been over all of their shirts, pants, especially an artery shot like that.
This seems reasonable to me. I don't know if you've ever been involved in...
Yeah, man. They don't know, do they? Yeah, they don't. They really don't. Yeah.
An accident, or you've dealt with an animal out of the forest that has been bleeding, but somehow, some way, blood gets everywhere. I've never treated a gunshot wound in a person, but the way the video depicts it, if it's not CGI or whatever's going on there, there's just it was a fountain of blood. And then when you saw the pictures behind the table, you didn't really see a whole lot. So it makes you kind of wonder what's going on there. What was that stuff? Was that actually blood? And if it was, where did it go? Why wasn't it all over the front of his shirt? Why wasn't it all over everybody?
I was in Cool
We
Runnings.
saw that Frank Turek, who is the mentor of Charlie Kirk, mentioned that he and 3 other people in the SUV that took Charlie Kirk to the hospital had to change their clothes and dress in the only thing that was available at the time before clothes were purchased and brought to them. They dressed in hospital scrubs to the point where there were people in the waiting room asking if they were a doctor. But there's no indication when they were taking Charlie Kirk to the SUV, building. There was no drops of blood, no trail of blood, nothing. So I think these are relevant questions.
It's not possible that just no one has any blood on even their hands. So to me, what I want to know now is, you know why I was very suspicious about why we're not getting this high fidelity.
Shout out to Nikki Love with the $4 support for the t-shirt and the raffle and the cash app. You know what it is. Nikki Love is love. Let's get you going, get you right, get you real.
Because it is a high def camera that's behind them. This is one of those cameras that they set up at every one of these functions. And we saw the guy and do
that's where I'm at.
To me like taking the SD card out.
Is that where I'm at?
Another high resolution camera that was stationed to Charlie's left, the audience's right. Where's the footage from that? I mean, you've got so many people speculating on what they think happened, but they can only speak from grainy, low definition footage like this right here. They could put an end to the entire thing by showing exactly what happened under that table. What were the first aid measures that these guys were taking? Where's all the blood? What truly happened? What happened at the back of his neck? What do we see? Candace Owen says she's seen it. And for some reason, she's chosen to be a gatekeeper. And she says she's seen clearer or has possession of clearer footage than the footage that we have access to. Why isn't she releasing that?
Show me that footage, because that footage is going to show me exactly what you're doing to treating Charlie Kirk. And I think, again, I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. Alex, I think, I've been on your show enough times that you would agree I'm very level-headed with this stuff. Tell me why, Turning Point.
So let's be clear. So we know, so we update on what we're doing here. So we understand what's going on right here. Nene loves Savvy TV from Jamaica. Wish I was from there too. It's different. All the way across the island. Real quick. Now. The people you see in this film right here behind me, that's his security guard. Nobody was bleeding. Man got shot, blood ain't nowhere. You get what I'm saying? Just period. So now you got to understand. There's 3 security guards. Dude hit his glasses like, let's activate the film so we can make sure he know he's down. And you got another guy smiling while he's shot. And you got another guy grabbing his hand, but there's no blood. Okay? So now we're like, in my right mind, shout out to Perry in the building. He know where I came from. He know how I started. This is where we at now, Perry. I need you to tap in, hit that like button, subscribe, become a member, hit that notification bell so you know the updates. Family. So it's crazy how they put so many distractions in our face to now we just can't really pinpoint what's really real. But see, that's the difference. That's why you are a member here with Dilla T. And that's why you heard No Filters. Why? Because we don't wait for the headline. We read in between the lines to know that if it inform, understand and be aware that if it walk like her and if it talk like her, damn it, it's her. We know what it is. So we got to be sitting there trying to figure out who did it and who didn't. We know who did it. We know who didn't do it. We know who being framed. And we know the ducks involved. You understand me? You know the ducks involved in your city. You better open up your mouth when you see it. Oh, that's what just did it. Savvy for wheel in the building. We getting a duck on the shirt. You understand me? We know that's a duck. And you better start telling people that's a duck. It's a bunch of ducks in this video right now. You understand me? And as long as you a member with Dilla T and subscribe and hit that like button, you will start to understand what a duck is too. You will never have to read or wait for the headline. You will never have to not understand, never be aware. You will know how to weed in between the lines. You will know when you know World War III coming. Why? Because we see the ducks who running it. Let me know right now. Press 1 in the comments if Savvy for Well should create the duck shirt right now. Tell me now. 1 in the comments if Savvy for Well should create the duck shirt right now. Tell me now. I'll wait. Demi said duck it in. Ruth said duck it in. Let me know the ducks in the bed. I need to know if it's a duck. Let me know if it's a 1 and for a duck. Cause we ain't playing. We finna start putting ducks on us right now. We putting ducks on shirt. Ducks need to get put on shirt. Okay, now we got it in there. Finally, shout out to you. Because of you, fam, and because of everybody around the world that No Filters, we have officially created the duck shirt is coming. Let's clap it up for family in there. We're about to create the duck shirt. Shout out to fam, making the duck shirt come alive. It's because of you that you all have now convinced that we know. Shout out to Savvy for we're ready to sponsor a duck shirt. Be ready for the shirt, family. You hear me? Cause we ain't playing with nobody. We're gonna put it on and we're gonna start calling people, you a duck. You better get out my damn face. You a duck. You better shut that. You better get out. You a duck. You better go. I'm gonna just start quack, 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 quack. You better tell them what it is, Nikki Love. You hear me? Let me know now what's going on, Francie Roo. Tell me now we're getting a duck shirt to you immediately. We got to get it to you. Let's go. We ain't playing with nobody in here. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe. We cooking. I'm gonna just start walking down the street looking at someone. Quack, quack.
No one treated Charlie Kirk. No one tried to stop the bleeding. You can see it right here.
Press a 1 for the duck shirt.
On anyone's hands, weird things being passed off. Bizarre. Absolutely bizarre. So I'm not willing to say that.
And that's interesting because that's the first thing that Candace said when she said that the guy who took the camera down showed her what the camera actually recorded. The very first thing she said was, I didn't see any blood. There was no blood. How can that be? What's going on?
Paula Dunn in the building.
And that's another thing with Candace.
Hit that like button, subscribe, Paula. What you doing?
Footage
what you doing?
The guy who took the camera down showed her.
Ooh, Savvy folks. I say this in motion.
Didn't see and didn't say anything about what she did see. Why?
This is nefarious, but I am willing to say nobody tried to save his life. I'm 100% confident in that. I can watch it right here in front of me. And then the question is why?
Well, I've seen the blown up videos of them when they're taking him out of the truck too. And you look at their shirts and stuff, I know they're far off videos, but I don't see it either.
There's an argument to be made that because he got shot in the carotid, potentially if the heart got impacted somehow and stopped immediately, all the blood would have already evacuated out of his body before he got moved. Okay, let's say hypothetical that's the case. Still no blood anywhere on any of these people that supposedly treated. You can watch their hands. And as you let this clip play out, we see...
Now hold up for a minute, hold up for a minute, hold up for a minute. I don't care what's going on, hold up for a minute. You ever seen somebody get shot and ain't had no blood come out? Tell me right now. I'll wait on you. And I mean, I'm gonna wait on each and every one of your comments. You ever seen somebody get shot, no blood, nowhere at all? Not even like a speck, a piece? Just a little spray? A little... You know when you sneeze and a little something get on something? Not even a little... I need to know. Nikki Love just said blood everywhere. Yeah, Lori said always blood. Ruth got eyes. But at least a little something. Just a little. Perry, you saying like it don't happen in real life, like no blood? Or like just a little blood in real life, a little blood? Francie said, no, that's crazy. Blood go everywhere. Right, makes sense. A little something. That's what I'm, see what I'm talking about? See, that's what I was waiting on. I was waiting on my family to put in there that that's a duck. I don't care about the blood. I want you to know that's a duck. The blood don't even matter. I wanted somebody to cut me off and say, no, Nick, that's a duck. And what happened? Ruth in there yelling out, it's a duck. Forget the blood. It's a duck! You got so many ducks around you. You don't know who quacking. I mean, so many ducks around you, you don't know who quacking at all. You can't even identify the quack. And you know what's sad? A duck quacks. You should be able to identify a quack from talking shit. You should be able to identify a quack. But you got so many ducks in your life, you can't even identify who quacking, who not. That man had so many ducks around him, they laughing. Ain't got no blood on them or nothing. I mean, there's so many ducks around him, they laughing at him right, he down. We have to identify the ducks in our life so we can know who quacking. So we can know who quacking and who need to get out the way. So when we start duck hunting, or let me say that again, we need to start identifying the ducks in our life. So when we start looking for the who quacking and we start duck hunting, we can get them out the way. We need to know where the ducks at, so we start duck hunting. Who gonna duck hunt with me? I want to duck hunt. I don't care about identifying. I want to hunt down ducks that's quacking and get them out. You remember the game Nintendo? Duck Hunt. Whoever played Nintendo Duck Hunt, I had the gun too. What we talking about? It's big ducks in the world. Ever since Nintendo. Been playing duck hunt. You better hear me, Brandy. We talking about ducks, and we talking about duck hunting, who quacking, and we talking about all those that want to be duck hunt down because it's been going on. Ducks been out here. We've been ducking them. It's time to stop ducking ducks and start duck hunting. You understand me? That's what it is. That's the time we in. That's what we need to be doing. Caught short, hit that like button, subscribe. It's really real. You understand me? It's time to stop ducking ducks and start duck hunting. Hit that like button, subscribe. You gonna get a duck shirt. Woo! You better thank God that before. Well, let's go.
All of their hands, all of these guys, both their hands, both their sleeves, there's no blood on anybody. And
we're left to just trust the video that we see. We don't even know if it's the original video. We don't know how much it's been tampered with. Now we have all of these experts coming out of the woodwork telling us their experience, and those are like, there's no possible way. To me, it seems reasonable to say that somebody would have blood on their hands, literally have blood on their hands, if not all over their pants.
Prime Glory in the building.
How can this possibly be?
And this handing stuff off.
We're talking about fam back here, Brian.
Why is nobody, Alex, when you're talking about a carotid artery injury, what I'm doing immediately when I roll up on somebody and they've got an arterial wound, I'm burying my hands inside of that wound before. Nobody's taking a shirt off. Nobody's getting gauze. Like, you don't have gauze? Get a shirt off. Give me some clothes. I need to pack that wound.
And by the way, even low-level, not very well-trained security knows to jam gauze or clothing into a wound.
Or at least your thumb. Get your thumbs down in there and actually stop the bleeding.
See, Perry, you know, because you said, Perry, I came out the garage. So you should know from day one that we've been identifying and letting people know that we're here to inform, understand, and be aware. That if it walk like a duck, if it quack like a duck, damn it, it's a duck. We tired of people talking about, oh, if it walk like this, then, or maybe it's that, or if it talk like this, then, you know, maybe that be lit. But if it, ain't no if, ands, if it walk like a, talk like a, we know what it is. Your politicians, your rappers, your artists, your entertainers, ducks, all the way across the board quacking. You better be ready for a duck shirt. You hear me? You better put that shirt on. You better put that, and when you put that shirt on, you better call people out who they is. Don't put the shirt on and think that you're styling and profiling. And don't put it on if you ain't calling nobody out on what they is. Say that again for the people in the back think I'm playing with you. Don't put it on if you ain't gonna call it like it is. You see a duck, you better quack, or you better call a duck a duck.
And if you can until you can get somebody to bring you help, but no, I can tell you, I watched this clip, none of that was done. So are these guys, they just had no trauma?
And also some speculation that this guy, which is the bodyguard you see in almost every one of the videos standing behind Charlie Kirk at his campus events, are saying that he's wearing meta glasses and that he either pushed the side button to start recording or stop recording.
Medicine experience. None of these guys that are his personal security have ever done trauma medicine. I teach trauma medicine courses, Alex. And this is just not.
But let's look at the body language of these guys. Their faces. I mean, I would show more concern flipping an omelet to make sure I didn't burn it. I'm not trying to be mean here. I'm watching body language. They look like it's funny.
I know, and again, I'm not trying to say this is nefarious, but I am saying if this isn't nefarious, this is insane ineptitude. These guys have no idea.
Yeah, what about adrenaline? I mean, I know even a wimpy guy, their buddy gets blasted like this. They have shoulders flared out. They'd be shaking. You'd see really serious faces, teeth bared. I mean, I know what people look like under a car wreck or anything. Where people are like, you know, I don't see the battlefield, you know, like this thing. I don't see any of this.
Well, I can tell you, I mean, having treated real casualties, you watch guys, even guys super experienced, like any Green Beret is insanely highly qualified in trauma medicine, right? And anytime I've done it, my hands are like this, Alex. And I mean, that's somebody that's actually done it shaking. My adrenaline's through the roof because
you're empathizing with somebody blown in half.
Well, and I don't have a lot of time to save this person's life, right? I don't have time to mess around and be handing shit off and just willy-nilly whatever I'm doing. Like, I would immediately have both my hands inside Charlie's neck, both my thumbs, identify where this laceration is in the carotid. My thumbs are on it, and I would be screaming at the guy next to me to take his shirt off so that we can bury something inside of his
Well,
head.
exactly. I've never been in combat like you, but I watched documentaries in Iraq, Vietnam, all of it. Dr. Fellows, you see that, people screaming, people yelling, even experienced medics that care. It's a totally different, it's like this. Instead, these guys are like,
I'm not the type of person to say, oh, this is nefarious, but I can watch that clip and you can watch that clip, and I'm sure everybody at home, even if you've ever done trauma medicine or not, listening to me explain it, now watching this is going to go, what the fuck?
Woo, hit that like button, subscribe, family, become a member today, right now. Let's keep the party going up in here. Let's ride forward, let's go.
Will clear the check engine code off of their car, and then you'll buy.
There's the other camera right there. This camera was rolling. They don't stop these cameras. This camera and the camera behind Charlie, where the heck is that footage?
At an absolute minimum, I see massive negligence or incompetence. At a minimum. I don't think that's arguable from anybody who's been in the trauma medicine sphere to say this is not normal. And
by the way, this right here, people are saying this right here is Charlie's hand. Do you see that? We'll just take it a couple frames at a...
Hold up, be quiet, Ryan. Don't come in here asking me in my mute. You must ain't been around for a little minute. Hit that like button, subscribe, become a member today, double tap, hit that notification bell, hit all. You will always know when he's talking and when he's speaking. I'm never mute. Shout out to Ruth. Good night, Ruth. I really appreciate you taking your time out, pulling up on us. Be ready to call everybody a duck and get ready for that shirt. You understand me? Let's get right. Let's get real. Let's get understood on what we're doing in the way that we are doing it. You understand me? Watch your mouth.
Time. So, in Ford, this hand comes
around the world. Hit that like button, subscribe, become a member before you go to sleep, family. I appreciate you. Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. we
this guy's hand. It's definitely not this guy's hand, and it's not that guy's hand. There's only one other guy on the ground. That looks like Charlie Kirk's right hand.
This is not normal.
Let's look at it again. Yeah, it looks like his right hand.
Appreciate you,
There's
family.
no blood on his hand either.
My buddy Alex, who's an 18 Delta Special Forces medic, some of the highest trained trauma medicine.
By the way, the guy talking right now is a former Green Beret.
What you say, Ryan? I can watch my mouth if I cross my eyes. Boy, you sound so stupid. Get your dumb ass up out of here. Dumb out, you can watch your mouth if you cross your eyes. Who cares?
And he spent 10 years in the Army Special Forces.
I saw a poll that I think it was 88%. And this was it had tens of thousands of, I forget where it was, tens of thousands of votes. Who believes the official narrative? And it was like 88% of average Americans don't believe it. I can't point to a single person I know that is just like, yep, FBI story, that checks out. I wanted to debunk some of the 30-06.
Tell them,
Biggie. People have been trying to say, well, maybe it was a soft tip round, or maybe it was a low grain load.
Let's talk about Charlie Kirk's steel neck debunked with our 30-06 ballistic test. Yeah, go ahead and introduce.
Yeah, so we did a ballistic test where we just used a regular 30-06 round with, I think it was 160 grain, 170 grain, pretty average round. And then we shot cow femurs, wrapped in beef. It just exploded everything. It shot through up to half-inch steel, no problem. I mean, nothing came close. And again, my buddy Brian here is a precision rifle competition shooter. And he made a joke at the start. We had everything on the tailgate, and I asked him, what's going to stop a 30-06 round? And he said, nothing, including this tailgate, which is true. But I've heard people have said, oh, well, it was a soft tip round.
Bridge in the beard of Chicago.
It just happens to have all these things. I've got a soft tip round here. Alex, I'm sure you as a hunter know. People say, oh, it's a soft tips round. A soft tip round, guys, is actually designed, it doesn't have copper on the end. It's designed to mushroom faster to create even more damage and an even bigger exit wound faster. So the people who are saying, oh, it was
exactly, that would have blown his neck probably 80% off.
Yeah. A soft tip round would have decapitated Charlie in front of everybody. So that's a little silly. Now I'm also hearing, Alex, I'm sure you might be hearing this, oh, well, it was a low grain load. Let me talk about that. Let's talk about a low grain load. Let's say Let's knock off 1,000 feet per second, just to make it obnoxious here, right? That's how low of a grain load we did on this reload. We're dropping from, on average, 2,500 feet per second to 1,500 feet per second. Okay, well, let's talk about a 9mm round, Alex. A 9mm round's moving at about 1,000 feet per second. And why do we use hollow point rounds? Why do police use hollow point rounds in a pistol that's
For more knockdown power.
That, but also because it's going to punch through. And you want that hollow point round to fragment so it doesn't punch through and kill innocent civilians. So when we're talking about, let's say you drop 1,000 feet per second off this 30-06 round, it's still moving at, let's say, 1,500 feet per second. The round is 3 times bigger than a 9mm round. So if a 9mm round is going to punch through most humans, what do you think a 30-06 round is going to do at even just 1,500? It's going to blow through his neck like butter. It's not going to make any difference. So all the people, and then there's also the angle. Okay, this is what I want to debunk too. Oh, it was a 9-degree slope. Let me look at this. This is Charlie sitting straight up. This is a 9-degree slope, as-ish, we would say. As the round comes in and hits his neck, people want to say, oh, then it refracted straight down at an 81-degree angle into his spine. That's not how Newtonian physics works. It's not how ballistics works. If it hits, even if it hits something very hard, it's going to hit his vertebrae, which is not hard. It's going to barely change the angle. It'll refract it down a little bit. So Charlie would have had to been shot at an extreme angle for that to actually make sense.
Absolutely, that round is so powerful.
And that's what Chris Martinson is saying from Peak Prosperity, saying that Charlie Kirk was hit at an extreme angle. I'm not sure what the degree angle he's saying he was hit at, but they're saying that when he was hit by that bullet and the shirt puffed up, that's the cavitation where the bullet is actually making its way through. And he makes a pretty compelling case for that, but this guy right here is saying it would have to be at an extreme angle to do what these people said it did.
Or flat it wouldn't even deflect any at that range.
I mean, maybe a couple degrees, Alex, but it's not refracting 81 degrees straight into the ground. That's not how Newtonian physics works. So if your argument breaks the laws of Newtonian physics, I can't get behind it.
And then moving on, Tyler does not have a rifle with him when he walks on the roof. I've seen the video. Let's play it. This is really proof that we're being lied to, right?
So I want to look at, when we look at this, everybody who says he's got it in his jeans, oh, it's not in his jeans, it's up his back, right? Okay, well, we can see every angle in high fidelity. There's no rifle in his jeans.
You couldn't even put the barrel, bro.
I wouldn't exactly call that high fidelity.
Down in there,
look at his back. There's no giant 30-06 barrel, or not barrel, excuse me, buttstock coming up the back of his neck. As far as I can see, if he played this a few times, he has no rifle at all. Even this tiny little backpack, I'm not sure could even fit a broken down.
You couldn't even put a compact M4 in that backpack.
I don't think so. So anybody who wants to tell me it's a broken down 30-06, I mean, I got one right here. I want to talk about this too. This is a 22 to 24 inch barrel. That's 2 feet. The barrel, even broken down, isn't fitting in that backpack. So where's his rifle, Alex? Unless this is not footage of him, or it's not footage of him going to the roof, but the FBI tells us it is. There's no rifle in his pants.
There's so many inconsistencies and holes in the FBI story. It's almost like the FBI tried to make the story as ridiculous as possible and create as many holes as possible just to see if anybody's going to believe it.
No, not to see if people were going to believe it. No,
railroad.
They didn't do that to see if people were going to believe it. You understand? All of this is on purpose. They didn't do it just to see if you're going to believe it. They don't care if you believe it or not. They did it for time. This was never about if you believe it or not. This is about time. Because rather, we'd have brought up Charlie Kirk getting shot broad daylight for 2 weeks. At some point, we're always going to go back to the Epstein files. We're always going to go back to the President of the United States, Trump, and his dealings in the Epstein files. And because we're going to go back to that, that's why they can give you 1,000 scenarios on how this white man was shot broad daylight in front of all of these white people on a college campus. So as ridiculous as that sounds, or absurd, that is really the distraction in time. Nothing about Connections, corruption, lies, none of it matters. The only thing that matters is time. How long will we be discussing this? How long will we not be discussing the Epstein files? How long will this go on? How long will they continue to come up with different things and theories that has to do with Charlie Kirk shooting? My brothers and sisters, I believe that this is being done on purpose to distract us, to buy Trump and them time on how they want to present the Epstein files. Let me say that again for the people in the back. I believe that this is them buying time on how they want to release the Epstein files, on how they want to discuss them, because at some point they're going to have to do it. And they're going to set up how they're going to do it just as well as they set up how they just got rid of Charlie Kirk. These are all phases. And whether this was phase 5 or phase 3 or phase 2, there is a next phase to this. And right now, the phases that we're in, just let the conspiracies go. That's what's going on right now. They just gonna let the conspiracies go. They gonna let us say this, say that, say this, say that. They don't even care. Because they put so many things. Oh no, I know you believe me, Lori. Because you're here with no filters. You've been a member. You understand. You a family member. You get it. So when you hear my family members say stuff like, prepare yourselves and children, that's how you know that's a family member. That's how you know there's no filters. Because that's how we talk. That's how we coming. We thinking about reading in between the lines, not the headline. And reading in between the lines, Lori just said, prepare yourselves and your children. You get that? She read in between the lines of what was going on. And she figured it out. There is something coming. There is something that's about to happen. And you need to prepare yourself and your children. That's what she got out of that. And you need to thank God for people like that, because they're the ones that become enlightened to enlighten you while you still in the dark. They read in between the lines so they can be prepared for the headline. Woo! 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 Say that again for the people in the back. She read in between the lines so we can be prepared for the headline. That's what's going on. That's why you become a member. That's why you subscribe. That's why you put your notification bell on all. That's why you double tap your screen to like this and love it. Because as we find out things happening, unfolding throughout the world, we must be prepared. We must be in light to darkness. We must inform, understand, and be aware. That if it walk like her, talk like her, then damn it, it's her. And in the midst of knowing that, that gives you a chance to understand the headline by reading in between the lines for you to be prepared for the headline. And whatever that reads, you will be prepared, you and your family. Because I'm sorry, I'm here to tell you. Oh no, I'm here to tell you. Come a little closer. Scary. I'm here to tell you. Come a little closer. Scary. You scared. Oh no, let me scare you a little more. Let me put a little more reality on your reel. Let me put a little more reality on your reel. We living in the last days. Let me say it one more time for the people in the back that's still rolling up and smoking. We living in the last days. Oh, you say the last days of what? Last days? The days are still coming. How we living in the last one? Oh, I'm sorry. This simulation we in right here, you know it was some before this, right? You thought we was the only one that was in this before? You thought this was life start and stop? Oh, I'm sorry, stupid. You must be scared because you don't even want to know what's going to happen after today. It don't matter, Irene. Money don't keep you. Money don't get you nowhere. There ain't nothing but paper. You can disappear with money and money becomes nothing, and now you just disappeared with nothing. You need to know this simulation you living in. You need to know when this is going to end. You need to know where you're going to end up at. You need to know where your kids are going to end up at. Some of you all are really not ready for what's after this. A lot of you are not ready for what's after that. But as you and me and all of us think together, what's after that? You would almost get scared when you start to think, what's after that? And if you just sit at your house, in your little room, in your area of place, of peace or work, if you just sit there for a second and say to yourself, what's after this? Oh, no, follow me. What's after this life? Okay, what's after this? Okay, heaven and hell. Okay, so then what's after heaven and hell? And you like, oh. But then you think like, so what's after that? And then you're like, what's after heaven and hell? You just in heaven and hell, burning, living. But what's after that? And then you think like, okay, what's after that? After heaven and hell? What's after heaven and hell? What's after that? You almost get scared because you just don't know what's after that. You living on this earth, living your life because you know what tomorrow brings, but you don't even know what's after that. You don't know what's after this life. You don't know what's after this existence. You just don't know. All of this hip shit we doing, clothes, talking, dancing, breathing, music, whatever, just the hip, everything. Everybody just so hip. What's after that? What's after the hip shit? What's after the martial law? What's after everything gets locked down and you can't go nowhere? What's after you having to get an RFID chip implanted in your body just for you to eat where you live? You better understand what a duck is in your face so you can know what to do in this world. So I ask you all, what's after that? When you're done doing what you're doing, what's after that? When you're done getting that money that you just got, what's after that? When you finally got what you wanted and you're satisfied, what's after that? When you make a decision for pleasure, for happiness, to smile, that quick, short decision, what's after that? Is it long-term happiness? Or is it long-term madness because of that quick decision to satisfy self? What's after that? Oh no, I just want to know what's after that. Write it down, take a picture, tell somebody, ask somebody, what's after that? Okay, now you got that. I see what's after that. You in the position, you created this, this is going on. What's after that? It's funny because some of you come in here thinking, I don't know what I'm talking about, but the goodness of God and the gracious keeps us going the way we do. And the fact that the Lord word my mouth and just tell me just what it is, the way it got to be, even if it don't agree with you or you don't agree with it, somebody needed to hear it. So I ask you again, what's after that? When you're done this and done that, what's after that? When you're patted on the back and you've done all you've done when you did it, what's after that? When you've gotten all your gifts, accolades, appreciations, love, rewards, accomplishments. What is after that? Ha! Tell them, Jessica. I want to know what's after that. Feel free to tell me right now in the comments. When you're done doing what you're doing right now, what's after what you're doing right now? What's after that? Some of y'all just got a raise today. Some of y'all just got a hookup today that you never knew was coming. And now that it is set in place and now everything is good. What is after that? Is it complacency? Is it grinding? What's after that? When you got all you got and did all you did, what's after that? I want you to know the realest thing that I'm talking about, because at the end of the day, I want you to know the reason why I'm talking like I'm talking, because we got to keep going. We got to keep going. Regardless of what comes up, trial, tribulation, we got to keep going. You hear me? That's why we got to have family. We got to stick together. We got to tell somebody, oh, it's okay. Let's keep going. Oh, that happened. We got to keep going. You better hear me today. You don't know what we go through. Nobody knows what we go through unless we open up our damn mouth. That's why I'm here to tell you what's after that. What are we doing after? We got to keep going. Because regardless of the stumbling block or the speed bump, what's after that? I'm here with you. I've been with you. I'm going to be with you. You understand me? Can't get rid of me. I'm Dealatofficial. There's no filters. You need us. What's after that? When you think you're done, oh no, you're going to keep going. Because what's after that? We need to know what's after what we just did. We just accomplished so much, but what's after that? Think about it. A lot of people don't think about it. We want to know, what is it? What's after that? You just did this. You just put it together. What's after that? We got to want to know. We got to want to see. So we thank God that we keep going. We thank God that we keep being. We thank God that as people together, we together. Pick me up, I got to pick you up. Poppy's pad just told you what he's going through in here. We got to pick him up. Don't feel bad that you got to pick up somebody. Don't feel bad that you need help. Open up your damn mouth, say something so somebody can help you. You got to be here. You matter. You matter. You better tell somebody if you ain't got no helping hand. Lord, I'm with you. I got you. What's after that? You just did that amazing. Pat on the back. Hold yourself. But what's after that? Let's keep it going. What's after that? Lord, my daughter. Jesus, you keeping her. She in the hospital, God, but I thank you for her. Because I know you got something for her after this. What's after that? We need to know what's after that, family. We need to know what's after this. We need to know what's after that. You understand me? We need to know. Because something, oh man, I heard something say, you're somewhere in the future and you look much better than you do right now. And I heard that 20 years ago. You heard me? You're somewhere in the future and you look much better than you do right now. I thank God that I got that thought right now because it's for somebody. Somebody in here need to hear that. Somebody need to know that. Somebody need to feel that. Somebody need to ensure that. You're somewhere in the future and you look much better than you do right now. You hear me? You better take that. What's after that? I just want to know what's after that. What's after your accomplishment? What's after your faults? What's after your distractions? What's after down? It's got to be up. Huh? You're somewhere in the future and you look much better than you do right now. You better tell somebody that today. You hear me? Because what's after that? We need to know what's after that. We look forward to what's after that. Hit that like button, subscribe, become a member. Woo! Notifications, bells better be on. You don't get this nowhere else. This is the realest of real that you ever get. Let's go, family.
Tyler Robinson in the monkey trial.
And we didn't even get into the rifle picture. I mean, we don't even have time. The supposed rifle picture we've all seen, the viral rifle picture, that's basically a modern Walmart synthetic plastic with stainless steel 30-06. That's not Grandpa's old 30-06. I got one right here.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a World War II.
Grandpa's are beautiful wood and blue. Yeah, that's Grandpa.
Look at that. This is World War II era 30-06 right here. That is not what you saw in that picture. So what is that rifle? Where's the real rifle?
They didn't start making those rifles till the 90s.
Here you go. That's a modern synthetic buttstock with stainless steel.
Yeah, that looks like a Luger 30-06 to me.
So there's none of those in pre-World War I. That's not a thing. So what is that? Where did this come from? Apparently now the FBI is saying, no, we never said that's the rifle. Okay, so
well, maybe it's a time machine. You know, maybe Doc from the Back to the Future brought it back. Because I didn't see those synthetic stocks, what, about in 1990?
Yeah, it's pretty. I would say probably the 80s and 90s.
Well, the N16s were synthetic in the 60s, but I mean, they didn't start having consumer stuff to line.
Again, I've got multiple Browning Belgian made pre-World War II 30-06s. None of them have synthetic plastic. That's not a thing.
So if you have anything to add to this, leave your thoughts in the comments section below. If you like these commentary videos, maybe you'll like some of my others. Check out my most popular playlist. I'm sure there's some videos on there that you haven't seen yet. If you want to support the channel, keep your money. You can do this for free. Just like this video, share this video, comment in the comment section. It helps combat the algorithms. Subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification icon. I will see you in the next video.
Ain't nothing but love in here.
We're America's beverage companies, making American products with American workers in America's hometowns, creating good paying jobs, the kind that require only a strong work ethic, because we believe in the promise of America and the people who make it great.
When I started using this Navy SEAL muscle device, my friends laughed at me. But when only 30 days later my beer gut had almost disappeared, they shut up.
You're talking about Charlie Kirk. So for you, do you remember where you were when you heard the news that Charlie Kirk was assassinated?
I was walking to my office. I was literally walking to my office, and the same person that I just mentioned a second ago, Kim, came running up to me. She goes, "Charlie was just shot." And it literally, for me, it was deja vu to Butler, right? I mean, it was like I was watching that exact same TV at the exact same time.
Nene Love, boy.
Watching, the same thing.
Fucking mama, you know what it
somebody I
is.
love dearly, and I love Charlie dearly. Man, Charlie was a dear friend. I was on the stage with him all the time, and he was, he's an amazing person. In fact, I was just speaking to Erica last night. But no, listen, they want to take away our voice. That was our whole plan, guys. I mean, if you take away the voice, the movement doesn't continue to happen. What actually happened was the exact opposite of that. They thought they could cut the head off of kind of the tiger, but the tiger actually got bigger, and it got stronger, and it got louder, and it went from being a movement of youth in this country to being a movement of everybody all around the world who saw them for not being the tolerant people that they had always claimed to be, saw them for actually being incredibly intolerant, as we've seen over and over and over again. They didn't want me on the stage. You think they want you on that stage? They don't want you on that stage. They don't want any independent voice that can't be controlled using big corporate kind of, they don't want us out there because they can't control you, and they can't control me, and they can't control any of you guys. Right? And that's why they take the shots. They call us fascists, yet they dress in black.
It don't get no realer than what's been said on this table for what's real in life. Beautiful blessing that people are able to connect and just be able to connect and understand people's situations. We all don't know what people going through, It's a big difference, man. It's a thing of change. It's a lot of things you go through in life that'll change your life, you hear me? And I can't tell you the difference is what's real. That's why I tell you, we all got to stand on business together. Because without, we have nothing. It's always better when it's more than one. One to keep you down, but when you got family, when you got more than one, you feel like you can take on anything. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I feel right now. Here with my family, No Filters, your boy Dilla T. The level of just the level of fellowship and time. Time has always been a beautiful thing for us together, to be able to just come together. Just be able to get ourselves, just be able to just be in someone's presence. So many people don't want to be lonely. You don't want to be lonely. You don't want to be lonely. You understand? That's why I got to make sure fam together. Got to know fam straight. Because we all go through so many things and we don't speak up about it. But yet we're here. We are here. And I thank God that we are truly here in the land of the living. And it's a reason he's given us a chance to be able to talk fellowship daily. You in Boston, fam, in Tennessee, St. Louis, Jamaica, Ireland. I mean, I can go down the list. It's a bunch of, we have the world here with us at No Filters. You hear me? I just want you to know from the bottom of me, the bottom, Truly thankful for you all. Truly grateful for you all. Even for you all that don't know what you're doing and that you think you're just here. I see you too. The people that don't even say nothing. You just pull up and you just watch. You matter too. And at some point, you're going to start speaking up. You hear me? You're going to start opening your mouth. Because you come for a reason. Yeah, you might not have a voice. And because my voice may be the voice for you, that's why you're here. Because you don't have a voice, but you follow this voice. You follow this meaning. You stand with me on business. That's why you're here. And I appreciate you for that. I'll be the voice for you. You can't speak for yourself. I'll speak up for you. It's fine. I'll speak for you. It's all good. What you want to say? Let me know what you want to say. I got the P.O. box coming. So fan mail, family mail. And it ain't even fans. It's family mail. We calling it family mail. P.O. box coming. Family mail. Everyone and each and every one of you all will be able to connect with me and send your love, send your support, send all to the P.O. box that will be for you. It's called family mail. And that's coming soon in 2 seconds. So we all make sure that you're sending your love, sending your realness, sending what you're going through so we can connect with you and make sure that you're not out here alone. You understand what I'm saying? That's the realest, that's the only way that we can only do it. As always, fam. This is a blessing. You get a Monday through Friday. You get a chance. You get 9 p.m. I mean, this is free will. Nobody's holding you. Nobody's stopping you. Nobody's holding a gun to your head and making you. This is free will for you to like, comment, subscribe, become a member of No Filters today. It is truly a blessing that you have the chance to step in the chat. You see the donations, you see the super chat. It's a blessing that you can do this all by free will and free spirit and free love and free support that you're able to be here. But as always, family, Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. on the dot. You hit that notification bell, make sure it's on all, because you need to know that each and every Monday through Friday, you need to get you something to eat, something to drink, something to smoke if that's what you do. Woo! Because you see the title and you see the family. This is an emotional one, but I thank God that I was able to do it with you. I truly appreciate each and every one of y'all. You hear me? As always, family, you all have a good night and be safe. It's love.